Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Wilds War Cry. I am your host, Stephen Wilds. This is usually where I would take the time to introduce my co-host, but I have something much more important to say, and that is that Zack Ryder did a 450 frog splash from the top rope.
And nobody cared.
And he missed. But it's okay, because he tried. I have with me the hater of everything beautiful, and that includes some of the best wrestling pay-per-views around, Ulysses.
Steven, I'll be honest, I'm sad today because I'm in mourning.
Did what happened? Something happened to your dog? Did like they discontinue your favorite flavor at Baskin Robbins? I don't know what's going on.
No, last night I found out that in fact the New Day were not too big.
Oh, that's right. So first of all, I want to take a moment to step back. I know we haven't recorded in a week or so, and so we didn't really get a chance to talk about NXT Unstoppable.
Terrible name.
Yeah, so I don't know what the names don't bother me, but they are not catchy. They're not doing their job, in my opinion.
After this name, I'd rather they just continue from here on out calling them NXT Special Events. It just makes more sense to me.
Just take over and not bother with the subtitle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, this is something that I can say with a little bit of pride. The name isn't the draw; it's the show itself. And so the name doesn't bother me in that sense, but I do kind of agree. Sometimes when you hear certain pay-per-view names, you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, or oh, I remember that being a good series of pay-per-views, so you kind of get into it more, but that's just not the case with these. And that may happen as they build, but
I hope they go to like In Your House. NXT would be perfect for an In Your House.
That would be great. I'd love that. We're not going to go down the whole card. For those who may have missed it, I don't know why you didn't watch the NXT pay-per-view, because to me it's great stuff usually. Once again, they had some really solid matches. I actually like the tag matches. I think Blake and Murphy are actually growing on me, which is sad because I want Enzo and Cass to win.
Exactly my reason why they're not growing on me. Enzo and Cass are just about the greatest thing every week. They need to come out more often. I love them. Enzo is probably my favorite thing.
Kevin, a friend of mine, refers to Blake and Murphy as handlebars because they keep coming out wearing pigtails. And I'm not going to go into why he keeps calling them handlebars. You'll figure it out if you think about it long enough. But it really has thrown off their whole image to me. Like, I already thought the pigtails were weird, but now they just, I don't know,
Now, I prefer to refer to them like how Enzo does as the dubstep cadets. I love that.
That is great. I forgot about that.
That's perfect.
What do you think about them teaming with Bliss? So now you have Carmella with Enzo and Cass, and you have Bliss with Blake and Murphy.
I like Bliss. I like she's kind of rough, but you could tell there's some real good potential with her. When she debuted, like NXT made a big old fuss about her, and then she loses like in her second match, so they kind of dropped it a little bit.
Yeah, she's a good wrestler. Like, I've seen videos of her from other promotions. She's a good wrestler.
Yeah, she moves really well. She's entertaining. She has that little bubbly attitude. They're turning her heel, which, again, do we really need any more diva heels? But I guess the positive spin on her wasn't working well. So, hey, good luck to her, and hopefully this does work out for her.
I wonder if they were thinking the same thing with Becky Lynch. They purposefully brought Becky Lynch in with this overly stereotypical Irish gimmick, and then turned her on it and used that as part of her motivation. Now the question is, did they think, okay, we'll see what works, we'll see if the Irish gimmick works, And I think they did kind of the same thing with Bliss. They kind of knew going in that this was a trial gimmick. NXT is definitely the place where you can afford to try a lot more. I'll put it that way. As we've seen with the Ascension and with a couple other people on the main roster, you don't have as much time to just see what sticks.
Yeah, that's true. It's more freedom for you to like just see what the crowd reacts to better.
Yeah, and as we have pointed out before, and I stand by this, the NXT crowd is a different crowd. It's not the typical Raw or SmackDown crowd. You had some strong opinions about the Diva tag match. Is that correct?
Yes, I do, and it's mostly just based on two specific wrestlers. pretty much is about all of them. But my biggest beef is with Dana Brooke.
All right, tell me your beef. What's wrong?
God, I can't stand this woman.
How do
She's awful.
How do we get
She's
you
annoying.
to squash this?
Okay, I got 3 things that she needs to immediately stop for me to at least like her halfway decently.
Okay.
1, stop flexing. Jesus, I know you're strong. That's it. You don't have to flex 1,000 times on your entrance.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that if you had muscles like that, you wouldn't flex?
Yeah, but I'm a guy. I'm allowed to be a douchebag. She's not. She can't. It's where I'm playing the.
That's sexist, man. That's sexist.
Of course, clearly. But look, point is, it's annoying as hell to watch it on TV because she does the same routine all the damn time. Okay, she flexes the right arm,
right?
Then she puts the left arm up, and this is the other thing that annoys me. She puts the left arm up, she rubs it, and then she slaps her wrist and she snaps. Take that whole thing out. It's annoying as hell.
I do agree with you that she should vary it up some.
Yeah, like it used to be cool when she used to like run onto the stage, do the flip, and then just walk. That was cool. Take this whole flexing thing out of it. It's annoying as Jesus. It's annoying.
I am pretty sure she could bench press me though. I just want to point that out.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she could bench press both of us.
Yeah. What's your other thing?
My other thing is a serious question I gotta ask you, Steven.
All right.
Why is Charlotte still in NXT and not main eventing a Divas title match on Elimination Chamber?
Funny enough, I had this conversation with somebody last night when we were watching the pay-per-view. So I think that they're just not ready for her on the main roster, and NXT knows she's main roster bound, so they're just not doing much with her right now. They don't want to put the belt back on her, especially with Sasha Banks working out as such a good champion right now. And I believe they just it's the thing of creative doesn't have anything for you right now because we're pretty sure you're about to leave NXT.
Yeah, but man, she's way too good. Like, don't get me wrong, I love that she's in NXT because there's better divas in NXT, so there's possibility for better matches. But man, like, she just is. I'm getting mad because I know she deserves better, and I want her to do better.
I will say this too. Her last time she was on Raw, she lost her match, and I thought that was a big mistake.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
It's not like she looked bad, but I would really want to see her debut. And so I guess what I'm saying is I'm kind of glad they're waiting a little bit longer because when she comes in, I want to see her come in and be pretty dominant.
Yeah, same here. That, and I love Bayley. Anything with Bayley is great. She's the last wrestler that's good for the sake of being good, and I appreciate that. I love you, Bayley.
Bayley is really good, and I feel kind of bad because I think she's lost her last 3 or 4 matches because she lost this past week on NXT. She lost at Unstoppable.
No, they won at Unstoppable. What are you talking about?
Oh, they did win. You're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking. No, you're right.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news: Scoops does not watch wrestling.
I forgot. It's been. I watched Unstoppable when it aired. It's been a while. We haven't talked about it. Oh, anyway, I want to see them do more with Bayley, and I don't mind her gimmick. Like, I know some people are like, oh, she needs a gimmick change, and honestly, she may when she goes to the main roster. But right now, I think it works for her.
No, she could be like the female John Cena to the kids, and I like that. I kind of like that. I'll be honest. This whole thing with the Cappy and the wacky arm people thing, and the fact that she gives like the little kids the armbands, I love that. I appreciate that. And she's great in the ring. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
What are those things that she gives out to the kids that's on her head?
The hairbands is like one of those things that like, wrap around.
Yeah, I can't think of the name. Yeah.
It's a nice little novelty act that adds a really good it could connect her well with the kids at least.
No, yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think a female John Cena might not be a bad thing, and I know I'm probably going to get skewered for that, but seriously,
bring it on.
I could see how that would work. I'll put it that way. I could see how you could make that work.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else? Was there any other points about this match that just really bothered you?
The finish. I'm pretty sure that was a botched finish, but still, overall, the match was entertaining.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. That's a good question. I need to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, you should.
Let's talk real quick about the other women's match, because I really enjoyed Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. I'm going to step out and say that I thought that was the match of the night.
I'm gonna step out on an even bigger limb and say that was the match of the year up to this point. Up to the filming of this point, that was match of the year.
Really?
Yes.
Match of the year.
No other match got me this entertained. No, like, this match was better than any match on WrestleMania, which is a damn shame on WrestleMania's part. Okay, this match was better than anything on any pay-per-view up to this point, and better than any other match on those NXT specials. Again, this is just one man's humble opinion, but I will defend that opinion to the death. I love this match.
I really like this match. I would say there were better spots, and I'd have to go back and compare both of them. In the four-way match, where it was Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha Banks. The one from...
The pitiful. When Sasha won the belt.
Right. I think there were better spots in that match overall. I think this was a much tighter, better match because, one, you only had the two people, so people's focus was more... There was a lot more focus on character building and just ongoing action. There were some really just good... The pacing of this match is, I guess, what I'm getting at. There were no points where I was just, like, my mind was wandering or I was bored. Like, this was just a good, solid match.
And I'll say this. The NXT Women's title is the most over title in the whole company. It's the most wanted title. Like, I'm pretty sure like John Cena at this point wants that title because the best wrestlers have that title at this moment in time. Okay? The best matches happen for that title. That NXT Women's title picture, I'm in love with it at the moment. Like Sasha Banks, if there was ever a diva that was capable of main eventing a WrestleMania, it's Sasha Banks, and I'm gonna say that here and now. I love that girl. That girl is fantastic. She needs to pop out on the ring every damn time.
I know I'm probably gonna get an argument from you on this later, but we'll save that part to later. I think all of the belts have been elevated lately, except for the IC title, but we'll talk about that later. I think they've done what they wanted to do with the US belt. I actually think that Owens holding the NXT belt and kind of doing his thing with it, I think it's elevated it a little bit. Not that it needed much elevation, but I do agree with you. I would say right now, like, one of the best title hunt pictures seems to be the NXT Women's Championship.
I love that belt. Like, oh man, like from Paige to Charlotte to Sasha Banks, clearly that belt is the belt where they give the best wrestlers to. It's like not even close.
So after Unstoppable, someone I follow on Twitter, we got into a discussion about the NXT Women's Division, and they posted Sasha Banks' theme music, which I'd heard it a bunch of times, but I was actually like, oh, I'll go add that to my Spotify. I've listened to that song so many times now because it keeps coming up on the random shuffle on my Spotify.
It's currently my ringtone to my phone.
Seriously? Wow.
Seriously.
I still think Paige's music is better overall, but I like this one. I really do.
This one's probably my third favorite song of all of WWE.
Someone one time, I wrote an article about NXT and what I wanted to see, and we talked about Sasha Banks. This is way before she was champion. And someone in the comments, and I agree with their comment, they said, I want her to show me that she's the boss. I want her to really embrace the gimmick. And I feel more now that she has done that. I think there's still more she could do to grow within the gimmick, but I was rewatching some of her promos recently, and I don't know, it really feels like she is completely taking control.
Yeah, she's the best. I love her.
All right, we could gush about Sasha Banks for a little bit longer, but we'll save the listeners from that. Let's talk about the main event. So we have the returning Sami Zayn and fighting Kevin Owens, and this was kind of cool because there's build to this, right? There was a lot of build up to this. This is a match that felt not epic necessarily, but it felt like it needed to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we begin the match, and I love that Sami Zayn, for about 6 or 7 minutes, looked like he was just whooping up on Kevin Owens. Like, Owens was getting some offense in, but Zayn really looked like he had just been stewing in his anger for however long it was between their last match, and he unleashes on Kevin Owens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then The match takes kind of an odd turn, and we all knew Owens was going to win. I don't think anyone actually thought Sami Zayn was going to win, partially because a lot of people knew that he was going to have his shoulder looked at afterwards, which, if I read correctly, I believe he did have like a minor surgery on his shoulder, because I think right now both him and Itami are out with shoulder injuries, which is kind of weird, because you can tell they were going to start stuff between them and Owens. But yet he also has a thing with Balor and a thing with Cena. It's like he's pissed everybody off. I love that fact. It really looks like he's the heel champion that just pisses everyone off. Yeah,
Owens is like probably the best heel in the company at the moment.
Oh yeah, I honestly I agree with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm a strong supporter of Rollins as top heel in the company, but Owens is he's killing it right now. So. Yeah. This match, of course, ends with the introduction of Samoa Joe. And here's my problem with this. Threefold. You had 3 points earlier. I have my 3 points. One,
shoot 'em.
One, I wanted to see an actual finish. I didn't want another. It seems like they're starting to, I think they're learning from the main roster, and they're starting to lean on this type of finish too much. Stop that. I at least wanted a pin, right? Okay.
100% agree with point one.
That's my first point. Two, maybe it's just me. It seems like they could have done Samoa Joe's first appearance so much better. I love Samoa Joe. I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan. Somebody loaned me a DVD of his feud with CM Punk from ROH, and they have some of the bloodiest, brutal matches in ROH.
What a mark.
They're great. They really are.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of wanted more for Samoa Joe, or I thought, because really he just basically ran out to the ring and, scared Owens off, essentially. And I felt like they could have done so much more with that. That's point two.
Agreed.
Point three is this is the worst fucking music I've ever heard for a goddamn wrestler.
What?
His music is wretched.
His music is awesome. What are you talking about? It has that cool little jazz beat and everything.
Yeah,
it's like
it sounds like he
funky.
should be Ernest the Cat Miller, like fucking dancing out to the crowd.
Dude, he came out rocking it though, like the with the little Samoan chant in the beginning, like, ooh, ooh. And then once the beat drops, he comes out like with a little swag and everything. That was cool.
I think like every version of his TNA music had that at the beginning also. I didn't like the tune. I felt
you're
like
wrong
he was
on this
a
one.
joking
I'm sorry.
character. I thought he was. Oh man, I don't like that music. No.
I'm sorry. You're. See, I saw the music as the other way around. Like WWE lately has been killing it with their music with the new guys. Like Tommy came out, great song.
Sure.
Balor came out, great song.
I love Balor.
Owens came out, great song.
Yeah, that's good.
The only one that I don't like recently was Dana Brooks, and just add that to another little tally of why I don't like Dana Brooks.
Can we just be honest that you and Dana Brooke need to just meet and hash this out, because it sounds like you have a personal vendetta.
I would love for NXT to come over here to my corner of the planet, host a show. I'll sit front row. I'll look at Dana and go like, "Yo, you and me got beef. We need to talk this out." And I'll gladly talk it out with her. I'll let her defend herself. But up to now, I don't like it.
You're just going to be like Steve, and you're going to end up taking a selfie with her, and then you're like her number one fan. It's going to happen.
No, because I'm not a sheep.
Let Steve know you said that.
Let him. Come at me, Steve.
All right, that was my biggest problem. I did not like the end of Unstoppable. I'll admit that the music thing is more of just an afterthought, but the other 2 points to me really, I don't know. I guess I've fallen victim to the fact that because NXT produces such great quality that I'm starting to expect better from them, and so that part of Unstoppable just didn't work for me.
See, the main event was average at best. Like I liked it enough. I agree. I thought they should have held off on the reveal of Samoa Joe, or at least if they're gonna reveal him when Owens pins Zayn. Like let him pin him, have him beat him up at the end, and then Samoa could come out. That would be at least better for me, because at least there was a better end. Because while watching this, I had no idea that the match ended. Like the match just kind of ended. There was no he power pounds him on the apron. He starts beating on him. The ref separates him. He throws him into the ring. He beats him again. And next thing you know, Samoa Joe comes out. It's like, wait, so the match ended? I'm like, so the match ends in a no contest essentially,
Yeah.
because there was never a ring. No one ever announced Kevin Owens the winner. It just kind of fades to black, and that's it. And I'm like, really? That's a terrible ending to a otherwise. That's the other thing. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but Unstoppable not only has the worst name of the NXT TakeOver event, I hate saying this, especially considering they had the Sasha Banks match, but this was probably the worst NXT special.
No, you're right. I said that to someone. I said it's really good. You should still watch it. It is the weakest. It's not bad. It is the weakest of the NXT pay-per-views so far.
Yeah.
So here was my plan, right? Obviously, they wanted Joe to come out and be a face, but before that, since the rumor had hit, I thought this was my idea. So we have this scene where Atami is supposedly been attacked in the parking lot, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be great to have Samoa Joe come out, dragging out like another superstar after the Owens Zayn match. He drags out somebody like Mojo Rawley, who's already technically hurt, so, or hell, do it to Bull Dempsey. He's not doing anything, right? You have him drag somebody else like he's beaten the hell out of someone else, right? And then he comes down the ring and just starts trying to attack both Owens and Zayn. Now, Owens, since he's in much better shape at this point, is going to roll out of the ring and, be fine, right? He'll escape. And then you have Samoa Joe do a move to Sami Zayn. Just powerbomb him or something. Do the muscle buster, please.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But then you have Samoa Joe like basically point at Owens as he's trying to get back to the behind the curtain and everything, and it's just like, that's mine, pointing at the belt or whatever. I know it seems like it's a little too simplistic, but to me, the hype meter on that would have been great.
See, I thought you were gonna say that he was gonna be the one who attacked the Tommy. Because he was
that's the gimmick, yeah.
Yeah, no, because I thought I was gonna make a full circle watch. Because I thought you were gonna go like, you know what? In NXT, I was once kidnapped by ninjas. This time, I'm gonna be doing the ninjas.
You mean in TNA? Yeah, he was kidnapped by ninja. Oh, God.
And he's like, and probably this time, he's like, you know what? I want to be the ninja this time. So that's why he attacked the Tommy.
Such a weird plot line from TNA. Okay. Anyway, all right. So that was NXT Unstoppable. Let's
go watch the Sasha Banks match now, and then rewatch it again. It's worth it.
Yeah, if you miss this for some reason and you're like, I don't know if I want to sit down and watch a 2-hour pay-per-view, at least go watch that Sasha Banks match. And Becky Lynch, I'm not a big fan of the steampunk entrance. I'm just not a steampunk person, but she pulled it off. It looked good.
She looked like the Fifth Element.
Though her hair, yeah, she did, because her hair was like orange now.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It worked. It works for her.
Look, in NXT, we already have a female John Cena. They're shooting for the female Sheamus.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. They're both Irish. All right. So, moving on. Last night for us, as of this recording, was the Elimination Chamber special event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. And as I've said before, okay, Ulysses and I do not agree on a lot of this, so prepare yourselves for that. Elimination Chamber is traditionally one of my favorite pay-per-views. I love the match. I love the gimmick. I am a big fan of a lot of stuff that they did. I remember in 2009 or so when Edge came out and threw Kofi Kingston against the stairs and took his spot in there. I love stuff like that. It's so stupid. It makes no sense, but I love it. And not too long ago, Edge and Kofi Kingston had an exchange on Twitter about that exact event, and it was hilarious.
It was great. It was absolutely fantastic.
So I want to start. We're going to break this down, go into a little bit of detail here, but I want to talk about the pre-show first. And before we get into Ulysses' opinions on, which I've already heard some of this, if you don't follow Ulysses on Twitter and you make it past all the baseball bullshit and the fact that he randomly talks about other shows when he's supposed to be watching wrestling, it's some insightful stuff. And by insightful, I mean into the psyche of an insane man or someone who was doing drugs at the time. I can't remember which.
I'm gonna go with Psycho because I like to think I'm an escaped convict from like Silent Hill or something.
I have no response to that. All right. So
perfect.
on the pre-show, we had Zack Ryder versus Stardust. I'm so glad to see that Ryder is finally getting his. He lost, so it's not important. All right, so he's taking on Stardust though, and we've had some recent stuff come up about the possibility of a match between Stephen Amell, the actor who plays Arrow, and Stardust. And there's been rumors going around that this is going to happen at SummerSlam. The reason, I understand that a lot of people were saying, oh, well, the announce team's talking about it so much and all that. The reason I think that this might not happen is, if you remember, for last SummerSlam, there was supposed to be a Justin Bieber match, or he was supposed to be like Cena's manager or something. I can't remember. So a lot of this stuff falls through, or they can't work out the contracts, or it's just Twitter stuff. Stardust and Stephen Amell have been doing a kind of a Twitter thing. I know Cody Rhodes is a comic book fan, so I'm not sure if that's how all this started, or maybe I'm not sure where all this began. However, I'm not sure that this is going to actually happen. Amell actually said on Twitter he didn't think it was going to happen, but he's a big wrestling fan. I know he's had stunt training, so it might not be hard to, make it where he can do some basic wrestling moves. Who knows? He's a fan of the industry. We'll see. Ulysses, my question is to you is, does this have the potential of becoming a Sting RoboCop incident?
God, I hope so. I hope it's just awful. I hope it's the worst thing WWE has ever put on television. I hope it's something that the fans on Twitter, on anything, just unite as one and completely bash and tear apart.
So you're in. You're gonna watch it.
Oh, clearly, but that's not the point. Point is, I know it's gonna be awful.
You watch Arrow, right?
Yeah, I'm a comic book fan, much as yourself. So yeah, I do watch it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Arrow. I think Flash has had a little bit better season this time around, but yeah, it's good. So, do you have any comments on the pre-show before we get started?
Are we just gonna talk about that, not the second part of the pre-show?
I actually missed the Daniel Bryan interview.
Okay,
I was at work.
Allow me to hijack the show for a minute.
Oh, go for it.
Back to Ryder and Dust. Ryder, you're a perpetual loser. Get off my TV. I never want to see you again.
Lame.
Stardust, your gimmick is dumb. It's annoying. Stop being funny after you drop your brother. And WWE successfully made me not give a damn about you the second. I know I've said this before, but the second Stardust did not beat Goldust at WrestleMania, I absolutely stopped caring about him until he goes back to Cody Rhodes. Other than that, I don't care. Now, the Miz TV segment of the show. This is my first time I'm doing a recap, so bear with me, people. So it starts off with like Miz. He introduces everybody and whatnot, and he introduces Daniel Bryan. And Miz just becomes his typical Miz self. He's just an asshole. And he's trying to ask a question, but he's asking him in a really condescending way. He tries to ask him how's it feeling, but he goes like, how does it feel to be hurt again and like have to drop your title again? And he's just rubbing it in, right?
He's playing a heel, you mean?
Yeah. And then I love Daniel Bryan. What he succeeded to do almost made me lose faith in Daniel Bryan. It made me kind of wish that he won't return to the ring. That's how bad this was for me.
Wait, now why do you not want?
Because he goes like, because he says something like, "Oh, the fans don't want to see you in the ring; they want to see this," and he points to the Titantron, and the goddamn impersonating Mega Powers come out. Mandel and Axel come out with their stupid Mega Power gimmick, and they proceed to do the leg drop and the whatever the hell else they do to the Miz.
Are you serious?
And then yes, and the segment ends with them doing a yes, and Axelmania doing the ear thing, and no, just stop. This gimmick needs to end. Daniel Bryan, I love you, but give me a month to vent. As of now, I don't want to see your face. And
you're gonna see him on Tough Enough.
I'm not gonna watch Tough Enough. I'm not gonna watch that thing because he has fully endorsed the Mega Powers, which made me pull back my endorsement of Daniel Bryan.
All right, one, I didn't know that happened, and I kind of feel like I didn't miss anything now. I actually was a little irked that work caused me to miss the pre-show, but I'm not anymore. Two, I just have to say, almost no one on Twitter mentioned that segment. So that's how bad that segment was. It must have been so boring because I don't think I remember anyone on Twitter mentioning that.
Then you clearly didn't see my Twitter feed.
Maybe I missed that one. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Thank you for recapping that Ulysses since I was not able to.
Yeah, anytime. I'm more than happy to be negative.
That's perfect. All right. So let's get into the actual show. And I will say I love when they have 2 Elimination Chamber matches because that usually means that they start with one of the Elimination Chambers. And that's, for me, that's like a good instant hype match. However, we're going to get into why that doesn't always work later. But this one to me really worked. We began with the Elimination Tag Team match. Elimination Chamber Tag Team match. So, all the teams come out, and they're putting everybody in everything. And there's just some really good interactions between the different teams, taunting each other. I don't know why they allowed El Torito to actually get into the chamber and stand on top of the pod. That really seems like a violation, but I guess there's no disqualification. I don't know. And for those of you who didn't watch SmackDown, I saw a lot of people questioning why New Day were allowed to have 3 people in their pod when, tag teams are usually 2 people. However, I like they pretty much explain it that on SmackDown, they did a favor for the Authority. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's like some good collusion storyline there. And as Ulysses pointed out at the beginning of this podcast, we got to see that New Day is in fact not too big.
Rest in peace, my favorite joke of all time.
You kind of overused it. You're part of the problem here.
There is no such thing as overusing that joke. There is no such thing. I'm sorry.
What did you think about this match, Ulysses?
Okay. I saw people on Twitter rave about it. I saw people say, "Oh, it's one of the better chamber matches we've had. Oh, this match was a success." I'm here to bury all that. I'm here to tell you why this match did not work for me. I'm here to tell you why this match was stupid. And I'm going to tell you why I'm heavily against this match ever happening again.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so the chamber match was to defend the tag team titles, right? Obviously. And they're trying to throw all these tag team divisions because they want to showcase the tag team, show how good it is. Here's your problem.
And they want to do something new that they hadn't done before, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Here's the problem. The tag team division sucks. Okay, your best tag team, the Usos, are hurt, so they're gone. Mm-hmm. The New Day is fine. The PTP is fine. Lucha Dragons are fine. Kid and Cesaro are great.
Yeah.
Who the hell gave the Matadors a tag match, and who the hell gave the Ascension a tag match? You could defend, oh yeah, they're just trying to fill it. No, look, take those 2 out and just put those guys in a 4-corner tag team match. You end up exactly with the same kind of a thing. The Ascension and the Lucha Dragon and the Matadors brought nothing to this match. It was annoying as hell to watch these guys, because I'm watching these guys, and I think the Ascension eliminated a team or something.
They eliminated 2 teams. They looked really strong towards the end of the beginning there.
Yeah, sure, they look strong, while hearing the announcers go, "Hey, look, they're finally doing something! Wow!"
Yeah,
instantly.
I agree with you that the Matadors were almost the lame duck of that match. I don't think they did much of anything, except the Bull did more than their actual team did.
Because, and then it angers me more because if the Usos were healthy, you could take the Matadors out, put them in there. Mm-hmm. And it angers me more because it looks like they're trying to bring the Wyatt family back, or at least Harper and Rowan.
Why the hell were they not in that match?
Yeah, take the Ascension out of there, put them into it. Maybe I might like it. But
that is a tag team that seems like they just would fit in that match. Their style, it'd be perfect.
It would be perfect. The problem for me is this, though. Other than Kid and Cesaro, I took none of those teams seriously. Like, I like primetime players, and I like the Dragons. But I never saw them as a threat to walking away with the belt. The only one that I thought could seriously walk away with the title was Kid and Cesaro.
I would add in PTP on my end. I thought they had a good chance. They've been really trying to build them back up. But I agree. I think I even told the people I was watching it with, I was like, New Day's going to walk back out with the belts.
Yeah, and I don't know, like there was some entertaining spot. Like it was cool seeing Kalisto do the I think it was homicide thing from on top of the cage when he fell on him. Even though like nobody caught him, so he kind of fell back first into the thing.
That was a really awkward fall for him.
Yeah, and then it was hilarious to see. I was about to say Delman, but it's Darren Young. Just let Biggie hit his head right onto that plexiglass thing.
Oh my god, that looked painful. It really did.
Absolutely brutal. And then seeing Biggie do that belly to belly overhead suplex on the steel grate was it was a good, nice little spot. But overall, I did not like this match. I could not stand the match. I'm not the biggest fan of the Chamber. Anything that isn't the first Elimination Chamber, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So this match to me just came off more as a huge cluster than something entertaining. And all these people claiming, "Oh, this match was a success. Oh, this match." No, this match was a dud. Okay, none of the other teams were all that much of a threat to the New Day.
Well, I disagree with you almost completely. The part that you didn't bring up that I had actually say is the biggest problem with this match were the tag teams breaking up each other's pins when their team was not in jeopardy at all. That was like my biggest complaint about that. They gave them no reason for why these teams were breaking up the pins of other teams. The only one that I kind of understood that with was the Ascension, and I'll tell you why. I don't like to defend the Ascension a lot past their NXT career, but they seem like they kind of had this thing like, we want to be the ones to eliminate all the teams, because they eliminated the Lucha Dragons and the Matadors. But
I guess they don't like Lucha.
Yeah, I know, right? But seriously, like, I don't know why they were doing that. Cesaro was amazing in this match. His standing drop kick in the corner, perfect. His elbow stuff that he was doing, his European uppercut, not elbow stuff, sorry. And I love when Kid actually tries to lock Xavier Woods back in the pod. I don't know why, and that's right. That starts the end for them, unfortunately. But man, I really enjoyed this match. I think Kalisto was up on the top of that one pod for way too long. I know the big setup that they were doing, but it just looked awkward. It looked like he had hurt himself, like he had crotched himself on the chains or something, and it was distracting. There were some amazing parts for the Primetime Players at the end when Titus O'Neil got his head pushed through the chains. That looked painful because that man has a big head. Like he's a big dude, and he has a big head. And yeah, I don't know. That looked really painful. Darren Young looked really good. I've always been a Darren Young supporter. I don't know if anybody did you see the recent comments he made about CM Punk?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
When he came out, when that was a big thing, he and Punk had apparently never really seen eye to eye. They didn't hate each other, but they just never really got along or whatever. And he said that CM Punk, after that, came up to him in the middle of catering, I think it was, and said, hey, I'm very proud of you. You stand up to anyone here who gives you flack, and if you get trouble, you let me know. So it's just a very, I'm paraphrasing. I know there was more to it than that, but it was kind of cool. Like, one, it made me respect Punk a little bit more, but two, Darren Young is like, it's kind of neat that even people who he didn't normally get along with, necessarily were supportive of him. I thought it was really cool. Sorry, total tangent there, but
yeah. So
I really like this match. I thought, other than the pin situation, Primetime Players look good. Kid and Cesaro look great. I actually am almost sad now. I wanted the New Day to win the titles. I thought that was cool. But right now I feel like the three teams that we're mentioning actually deserve a title run. Primetime Players eventually need the belts. And they probably need a little bit more time. I'll give you that. Kid and Cesaro are great. I think their biggest problem is they're just both not excellent on the mic, which I thought was why they had Natalya, but they never let her speak either, so I don't know what the hell they're doing with that. And New Day is great. I've really been enjoying New Day as the tag champs. I like this, that they're kind of helping out the Authority in this heel role. Their interviews recently have been spot on, so I enjoyed this match overall.
I did not. I had completely forgot about that Xavier Woods locked in the pod segment. That almost drove me up the wall. And I don't know. It's like it's an average match at best. I don't think it's a great match. I don't think it deserves all the hype it's getting, but
it's not like,
improve the tag team division. Then
stealing.
Let's have this match again.
And I agree with something you said. I think if I know a lot of people were bitching about the Usos when they were here, but I think a lot of those same people kind of realize now They put on good matches. That series they did with the Wyatts, man, I was loving that.
Not counting the Shield, they're probably the best tag team in the last 5 years.
In-ring talent-wise, they're top-notch. And I think it took them a while to get there. They even talked about how they were worried about their careers for a little while, but man, they're good. So let's move on to the women's match, which unfortunately okay, was it just me or were there several botched spots in this match?
There was way too many. Like Naomi almost killed Paige at one point.
Yeah.
That
looked awkward. And somebody who was here, like, he's not as big of a wrestling fan as the rest of us, and he was like, "Is that how that move's supposed to look?" And we were just all like, "Nope, that is not." They did one of the oddest Towers of Doom in that match. They had like a very shaky Tower of Doom that they did, which I thought they were going to hurt one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Paige looked like she legit either got hurt or was just selling that move really well, the awkward one, because you don't see her for the rest of the match. And look, I would have been happy with either one of these three women. I love Paige tremendously. Naomi is super talented. I feel bad because it seems like she's been at the center of a lot more of the botched spots lately, so I don't know what's going on with that. And Nikki has honestly been working her ass off to get better. So I don't know. I really felt like this match had more potential and just didn't deliver.
This match was slow. It was not good. I cannot stand Nikki. I already said that Paige almost got murdered on live television. And I agree with you. I wanted Naomi to win this so bad because I think she deserves the belt. But it just sucks that like a lot of these like missed spots in her matches, she's kind of, I don't know if she's at fault because I don't know jack about wrestling. So it could be her fault. It could not be her fault. It could just be one of those freak accidents. But the botch is just like, it's on her shoulder, and she needs to find a way to get that off of her.
Yeah.
But oh my, this match angered me to no end, especially considering that less than a week ago I saw a fantastic match less than 2 weeks ago I saw a fantastic match in the NXT, and then I have to watch this on a special event pay-per-view thing, and these are the ones that are getting advertised more. I can't stand it. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, the best way I could explain it, I just don't know.
I don't know. Let me ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
I feel like I had something I wanted to say about the botches, and then I realized that it's really you and I both kind of made correct statements there. It's on her, but at the same time, I think flukes happen, and just unfortunately she's had a string of bad luck. But let me ask you about if the Usos were brought back, next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Since Naomi is now heel, would you want to see the Usos come back heel, or would you want to see them just disassociate the two and let her kind of stand on her own?
Disassociate the two. Let her prove that. Let her prove that she's good on her own merit, and don't turn the Usos heel because I feel like they won't be able to pull it off. And I don't.
They debuted heel, right?
And did they pull it off?
They did. Unfortunately, they got buried because they came out with Tamina, and the whole deal was they were like, the new blood, the next generation of all these great wrestlers. Well, I don't know if you say great wrestlers, but wrestlers. And
they're good.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying that they were the children of Rikishi, which I don't know if everybody would agree he's a great wrestler. I like Rikishi. Anyway, the point I'm getting to is they debuted heel. They may be able to do heel, but I think WWE is going to want to keep them face.
Yeah, face is where their money's at.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I would like to see Naomi prove that she can stand on her own and do her own thing, and I'm glad she's getting this opportunity. I hope something good comes of it.
She needs to drop Tamina, and I love Tamina, but she needs to drop her just so she could prove that she's good on her own.
So let's move on to what I would consider the match of the night, and that is Kevin Owens versus John Cena. Now, I'm going to gush a little bit about this match, but there are two reasons why I'm going to gush about this match, and I'm going to tell you why I think that's okay.
Okay.
One, I don't think there was a single person who legit thought that Kevin Owens was going to win this match. I wanted him to. I said from a week ago, I was talking with my friends about it, and I was like, I want this man to win. It's not going to happen, but I want him to win. And I stuck with it. Like, you know, when my friends and I watch it, like most people, you know, we're like, okay, who's going to win? You know, who's coming out next? Who's doing that? Blah, blah, blah. And I stuck with it. And everybody else was like, Cena's going to win. You know he's going to win. And I'm like, no, I'm sticking with Owens. I'm sticking with Owens. 2, I think this legitimizes so much about the problems that we have had with WWE. And this proves that if they would just switch things up a little bit, if they would just do things different just a little. So many people, I mean, I don't know about you, but the reaction to this match on social media was amazing. And I watched this pay-per-view twice. I watched it with one group of friends, and then we had a friend who couldn't watch it because of work, so he came over and we watched it later that night. And both times there were people who were legit stunned at the outcome of this match. And they did a great job too, because I kept thinking Cena was gonna just pull it out. And Owens does this promo after the match. I'm sorry, I know I'm jumping ahead, but I really wanted him to say, "I pulled on Superman's cape," or "I tugged on Superman's cape," because you know the joke is, for those who don't know the cliche, there's certain things you don't do, and that's one of them. And John Cena is legitimized as the Superman of the WWE, and he did it. And finally, the fucking villains won, and I'm happy. Okay, you go. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine, because I want to hear your quote before I come in and just completely yell and scream and complain. Okay, I have one note for this match, and it's wow. The match was fantastic. It was great.
Oh, okay.
My beef is with what you said earlier. You said that the reaction on Twitter was great. No, it was not. The reaction on Twitter was the most annoying thing ever. Why? I'll tell you why. Because all of a sudden, I hear everybody complain. I hear everyone scream, "Match of the year, match of the year, match of the year, match of the year." And it pisses me off to no end, because from the beginning of the bell to like take away the last minute of the match, take away the last pop-up powerbomb and he pins him, right? So that match, that match was match of the year candidate. It was a fantastic match. And much like the last time we had the podcast, how you and Chris both said that Fatal 4-Way match on Payback, you guys weren't expecting much. And I said that's your guys' fault, because you guys have world-class performers in this match. In this match, like, I get tired of people saying, "Oh, Cena isn't good in the ring." The man could tell really good stories. Him and CM Punk had some fantastic matches. Him and Randy Orton had great matches. Him and Batista had some good matches. Him and Triple H had some great matches. Him and Shawn Michaels, oh dear God, that one in England was great. And Cena has proven he can do this thing. Kevin Owens, much like how he said at the end of the match, where he's like, "Let me give you some veteran advice." He's been doing this forever. He can tear the house down whenever the hell he damn pleases. Mm-hmm. So I expected this match to be great. My biggest issue is the whole Twitter reaction thing. If Cena would have beaten Owens, no one's talking about it this much. Everyone's going to be bitching and downing this match to no fucking end. And I apologize for cussing, but like, they will bury this match because they're like, "Oh, Super Cena wins." Who cares? The match was great. Sit back and enjoy it, damn it. Why are you tearing it apart? But the second Owen wins, match of the year. No, the match on its own was already match of the year. We don't need Owens to win to make it match of the year. Owens winning makes it the surprise of the year, without a doubt. Like, holy shit, no one really expected that. But the fact that he wins suddenly makes it match of the year? No, it does not. The match itself makes it match of the year.
I agree with you. Actually, I said about halfway through the match that if Cena does win, this is still an amazing match.
Yes.
So, I agree with you. I think some people gave it an extra boost because Owens won. I agree with that. And hell, I may or may not have, or yes, may have, written down in my notes, match of the year candidate, ? Because to me, other than the match that we previously mentioned between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, it's one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. I honestly, I don't say this much. I legit did not know who was going to win. I really thought it was going to be Cena. But I was on the edge of my seat watching some of these moves. And can we just talk about some of... First of all, I've watched Kevin Steen wrestle, so I know his moves, right? But I really didn't think we were going to see some of the stuff that I'd seen from him before in WWE. His top rope maneuver that he did, whatever the hell that was, and just some of the other moves, like the package, it was like a package power bomb that he did.
Oh, that was such a tease. Oh my god, I was so mad.
Everybody thought he was going to do the package pile driver, right?
But there was no way. Like,
it's not going to happen. You know what? If he ever pulls that out and he does that shit at like a WrestleMania or something, I think I legit, like, I don't pop often, but I do it. You know. Here's my point. I think this was an amazing match. I think maybe the problem that you're having here is the fan reaction. It's social media. Maybe I follow better people on Twitter than you do, because I kept seeing you retweet this idiot, this Spoonie or whatever. Like half the shit he was saying, I was like, wow, it sounds like a grumpy fan. Oh, somebody needs a pacifier.
He kind of is.
It just sounded like somebody who was upset for the sake of being upset. And hey, if that works and that gets you Twitter followers, who am I to compare, right? You know, but hell, I don't know. There were some people that honestly had some complaints with the smallest, minute things last night, and I was just like, why is that? Overall, though, I saw someone say, and this isn't I'm not saying this. This is a quote from someone else who said that he thought this was the best pay-per-view since WrestleMania 30. I saw somebody say that, and I wouldn't say that. I would not say that, but I will say that this match to me is a clear match of the year candidate for me, because it was a physical, brutal match with spots I wasn't expecting. Owens almost perfectly executed Christopher Daniels' best moonsault ever. I think Daniels does a little bit better because he weighs half of what Owens does, but it looked great. I'm going to give Cena some credit. Other than that ugly ass rope stunner that he is trying to make work, it's like a word that you're trying to get started. It's just not going to work. Stop. I appreciate that you're trying to add to the 5 moves, but I need you to. I need you to stop. Okay.
Yeah, just stop, please.
I don't want to say too much more about this match because I really want the fans who haven't seen it to go watch the match. And I'm sorry we spoiled a little bit of it for you, but I'm thinking if you're listening to this, you've already seen Elimination Chamber. However, I will say that if I had a problem with the match, if I had any problems with the match at all, Owens doesn't sell some stuff. Like, he just no-sells a couple of moves during that match. And I guess it kind of works because he's supposed to be kind of this strong guy, you know. He's supposed to be... To me, they're
Even though he looks like my uncle?
Yeah, he looks like somebody's dad who you pissed off. And I don't get the hatred for everybody saying his beard is whack. I don't understand, but he really does look like your next door neighbor's dad that you pissed off and whatever. I don't... anyway.
Like, I dig the beard because my beard's kind of ugly and scraggly, so it's like, maybe if I got like a foot of height more, maybe I could be a WWE superstar apparently, but who knows?
There were some really stiff shots in this. The top rope stuff we talked about. I love that when he stole the AA and successfully.
Yeah.
Because I knew it wasn't going to work with the 5 knuckle shuffle. Everybody saw that coming. That wasn't going to work. When he successfully not only stole the AA but did the "you can't see me" right before it. God.
I can't think of another superstar who stole the AA and did it to Cena. Like, can you think of someone who else did that?
Didn't the Rock tried to do it? Did he do it successfully?
I don't know if he did. Like,
I don't think he did. I think he tried and then missed.
Because I want to say, I think I saw Barrett try to do it one time, but Cena like landed on his feet. Yeah. So it's like, okay, no, he's never been hit with his own move before.
That was during the NXT thing, yeah. Or
but like
Nexus.
Yeah, but like now someone actually hit him with his own move. That was mind blowing to me. And I know we brought it up again, but that little speech that Kevin Owens did at the end was, oh man, beautiful. Perfect.
It was great. And I hate to say this, and I know someone else, I know different people have different opinions of this, but to me, one of the greatest things about this is a lot of people have been talking about NXT versus the main roster lately. And I don't think you should build on this too much, but for those people who wanted that, who wanted a show of that, man, this was a giant just boost, right? God, here's my biggest problem. They've already promoted that they're doing another match, and I'm like, no, don't do it.
That was awful, because now you kind of know who's winning this one. Like,
and I think Cena should win the next match. I'm going to be honest. I think he should.
Yeah. I thought he should have won this one, but...
Here's my thing. I agree with you 100%. Had Cena won this match, it just, at the end, had he reversed it or something, it still would have been an amazing match. You know. And unfortunately, I know it got more of a pop because Owens won, and nobody was expecting that, but it was just good wrestling. You know, people, for whoever those people are who say that John Cena can't wrestle, I know you're out there. I've seen your stupid shit you spew. This is a match you need to watch.
Yeah, clearly, 100%.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Neville versus Bo Dallas, and let's keep it short, because I hate to say this, like, these are two talented people, and the best part of the match was the ending, in my opinion. And I did like what Bo Dallas said when he was walking out. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was. I like this. I like both men. I have to do shopping later, and I fear there will be no bleach there because Bo Dallas has used it all for his clothing. Because that man has the whitest trunks, knee pads, and boots I've ever seen. But other than that little detail, it was just you could tell it was just a palate cleanser match. It wasn't. It wasn't much of a big deal. I thought I'll tell you right away how I thought this match would have been improved tenfold. You know how there was an empty spot due to Rusev out of the chamber match?
Yes.
It would have been cool if right before this match, like Kane or something told him, oh yeah, you two are going to fight, the winner gets that missing spot.
I agree.
I thought that would have been cool.
I agree, 100%. I know why they used Mark Henry. They were in Texas. Mark Henry's from Texas. I get it. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Hell, the last thing I really wanted to say about the Bo Dallas Neville match was the guy that came over later and we watched the pay-per-view. He had never seen Neville wrestle before, so I showed him the match, and he saw the red arrow and he saw some of Neville's moves, and he's like, this guy's great. And I'm like, you don't know shit, because you need to go back and watch his stuff from NXT. For those who want to see a really good Bo Dallas Neville match, there's a ladder match where Neville wins the title off of Bo Dallas. It's amazing.
Fantastic match. But Bo Dallas won this match because I don't care what anyone says, Bo Dallas always wins.
All right, let's move on to the second Elimination Chamber pay-per-view match. Let's first address the Mark Henry thing. I don't dislike Mark Henry. I just really feel like the better planning would have been something like what Ulysses just said. And again, my friends and I were discussing that. They really should have done something a little bit more creative. The other rumor that I heard was that Wyatt was going to be the surprise entrance since Rusev couldn't do it. And I know it's not a storyline, but it would have been just kind of neat because it's not like he was on any other part of the card.
I would have personally loved that. I would have loved Wyatt to come out.
So, I thought this was the worst paced Elimination Chamber match I've ever seen in my life. And now, I haven't gone back and rewatched all of them recently, but a few years ago I went and watched all the Elimination Chamber matches, and I would argue, with a little bit more research, that this is the worst paced one.
Steven, you and I both reviewed December to Dismember with the hardcore Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
That match looks like Steamboat Macho Man compared to this one. Okay? That Elimination Chamber is Macho Man Steamboat, and this match is Jake the Snake Roberts and that one guy who he wrestled in a blindfold match. This match was so brutal to go through.
Kevin was over here and he put it perfectly that so many of the moves looked awkward in this match. Just like it was almost like Rusev wasn't there, and it was like most of their match was centered around Rusev, and so they didn't really know what to do. And there are some good wrestlers in this. I love Barrett. I love Ziggler. I actually really like R-Truth. I wanted this to work. Unfortunately, someone someone told me, he's like, yeah, the big news is that Ryback is going to win. And I was like, why'd you have to bring the mood down? And I think that honestly hurt the match a little bit in my eyes because I'm like, God, he's right. Ryback's going to win. Why? And I don't even hate Ryback. I just don't care. I don't want him to have the belt. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something really cool with him. Maybe they have plans for him with the IC belt. I don't know.
Okay, now allow me to steal the show for a second. I'm gonna be a Dolph Ziggler and steal for a minute.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm looking at the contestants right now. We had Barrett, Ryback, Ziggler, Sheamus, Truth, and Henry. When Henry came out, I was like, why bother? We're not, he's not gonna win. Take him out. Like I said, like how you said, I would have loved to see Bray Wyatt. Give him something to do. The man hardly comes out on TV anyway, and yet people love him. I don't get it. R-Truth, why is he on this match? Why? Like, what has he done?
I like R-Truth, and he's a good wrestler.
You also like
you're right.
Jack
He's not
Ryder.
going to win.
Yeah, he's not going to win. Why is he
Jack
there?
Ryder?
Probably. I don't even know the guy's name. That's how irrelevant he is. Yeah, so, like, R-Truth, why is he there? Like, that should have been a spot for Stardust. That's where he should have been. Not this stupid thing in the pre-show.
And we would have known Stardust wasn't going to win, but I'll admit he would have been good in the match.
Okay. Ziggler, I love to see him, but I didn't want to see him in this match because he's above the IC title. Give that man an interesting story. That's why this Rusev thing breaks my heart, because it looks like they were setting these two up for some fantastic hair matches. Because their hair are fantastic. The Ryback. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, the way for you to become the IC champion is for Daniel Bryan to get hurt. But the second way for you to become the IC champion is for you to lose to Bray Wyatt in the pay-per-view prior and have your ribs almost broken. Why is he in this match? The man lost. He does not deserve. So apparently, if I go to Triple H and say, "Hey, I want a title match," he's gonna put me in a Money in the Bank ladder match for the IC title match. That's good to know. I'm not gonna win because I'm not gonna do that. But apparently, that's all it takes for you to get a match for the IC title.
Yeah,
go complete the 100.
I really think it's because Ryback has really shot up with the kids lately. Like he's got a lot more of the kind of kid family support behind him, and I think that's why he's wearing the belt right now.
Well, kids, listen to me. The Ryback is dumb. Stop liking him. And the other part, this part is the part that probably drove me crazy. I've said prior, I like Barrett. I don't want him to win an IC title because he's above that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 King of the Ring is the first one eliminated? What the hell is that all about?
Yeah, it was a little weird.
And he's eliminated by R-Truth.
I was okay with that. I mean,
No,
I like R-Truth, but
R-Truth should have been the first one eliminated or the second one behind Henry.
no, yeah, Mark Henry should. Let's talk for a second. One, did you notice an extreme amount of roll-up pins in this match?
Yeah,
well, like everybody was going for like the cheap roll-up pins. Also, what did you think about the two different forms of pod malfunctioning? Was Mark Henry's pod, was that supposed to happen?
I don't think it was, clearly, because the ref was smiling and he's like, no, come on, you got to go back. And then Henry's just like, man, screw you. Look at me. Are you going to put me back in here? No.
That was so awkward. It really was.
And it was funny as hell because when they were going to pick someone else to come out of the pod next, right? Yeah. And it goes to that overhead view.
Yeah.
The light was only going between the other two.
Yeah.
Mark Henry's name was still there. Oh, man, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, shit. All right, whatever.
I'm almost positive that was not supposed to happen, and it just made an already awkward match more awkward. I thought the Sheamus thing was funny, but
no,
it was overdone. It shouldn't have lasted quite that long, and it just really, I don't know. It's a fun heel move, but it like I said, the match was already awkward, and a lot of the stuff just made the match feel more awkward. And I think that particular action would have worked better in a different match.
Okay, you stopped me right before I got a chance to berate Sheamus, so I'm gonna berate him now.
Okay.
That thing was not funny. That thing was dumb because go back and watch it, the ref is clearly he's trying to pull it with his right hand, but he's clearly pushing it shut with his left hand.
Yeah.
It's clear as
when the two refs were doing it, looked even worse. It was
awful, right? And then that's not the first time that's happened. Like Triple H did that to perfection the other one time.
Yeah.
That's the first time this little thing has happened. My beef is with Sheamus. If you purposely close the gate so you don't come out, right? Why not wait until there's only one guy left? Yeah. Why come out when there's still people out there willing to kick your ass? Come out when everyone else has beating each other up. Only the right back is left standing. You come out, you beat him, you win. Bam. There it is.
That makes logical sense, but that would have he would have been in there too long. The joke already was too long, right? That would have just been overkill. But I agree with you. That logically you would think that would work.
Yeah, it's like I get that I'm the dumb one here because I'm clearly trying to add logic into WWE logic, and there is no logic. But I'm sorry, this was bad. This match was awful. The Divas match was better than this one. Okay, like the Miz segment was.
That is taking it to a place, sir.
The Miz segment was better than this one. Stardust and Ryder, I cared more about that match than this match. Like if you were one of the lucky few who followed me on Twitter, you saw that halfway through I gave up.
Let's not go with the lucky, but okay.
Very lucky. Like I gave up on this match. Like I gave up the second the Sheamus thing happened. I had to rewatch this pay-per-view again, and I don't know if I have any hair left on my head because I was pulling it out so much. It was bad, man. Like it was awful, brutally awful.
You know what I thought was going to happen? I thought Sheamus was going to get stuck in his pod. He was going to do the thing, right? And I thought Ryback was going to pull a Goldberg and kick his pod door in like Goldberg did to Triple H, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And since we already have this huge Ryback Goldberg comparison, you know, I felt like that was just got to happen.
Yeah, they should just go both Goldberg at this point.
All right, let's get off of this match. We've got one more to talk about.
Please.
So, Ambrose versus Rollins. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was looking forward to this match a lot. And I think part is kind of what you said earlier. It's because I wasn't expecting anything from the Fatal 4-Way, and it did so well that now I was like, well, crap, they deserve more of my anticipation and respect, right? So I built this match up a little bit more. I actually really enjoyed some of the build. I think they overdid it a little bit on a couple of the Raws, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like, they've been building this relationship between Ambrose and Reigns, who especially at the end of this, when we talk about this, I'm going to give Kevin Bryant the credit on this. He said that Ambrose is like Solo and Reigns is his fucking Chewbacca. Because Reigns comes down and fucking does the Superman punch and just like handles his light work and oh man, okay, I'm sorry. All right. So motherfucking Dean Ambrose needs a comb, first of all. That's the first thing. And I said that, and then I think one of the commentators actually said something about that. This match had a really slow start, in my opinion, and it kind of picks up with some really good moves from Ambrose. I actually thought the match made Ambrose look a little bit better than Rollins. There was the interactions with the table outside. I thought it was great. Ambrose did some off the top rope stuff. It was good. What did you think about it overall? I know you have some opinions here.
You said the build to this match was good, right?
It was better than the build to some of the other matches.
Wrong.
How am I wrong?
This build was dumb. Okay, I hate the fact that they only had 2 weeks. Really, like these two need more than 2 weeks, in my opinion, because they're both interesting and they're both cool. But my biggest beef was with this last Raw. Okay.
All right.
We had the tag match with Ambrose and Roman versus Rollins and Kane.
Yep.
First of all, Kane, stop getting involved in these matches. Jesus. Second, The lunatic fringe, the absolute psychopath, beats Rollins with a technical move. That makes no sense to me. I understand that, again, I'm adding the logic to this, but if you're gonna sell the character as an absolute psycho, then don't let him win with a backslide. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin win with a backslide, and that's what they're essentially kind of doing with this guy. They're giving him more of an insane Stone Cold. And I
don't disagree with you here, but I will point out that Ambrose is actually a decent technical wrestler, so I think that's part of why that.
No, I get that. But the thing is, you're selling him as a lunatic. Give him brawling moves. Have him punch him to death. Like, this guy looks like he'd rather get disqualified by punching him too many times in the corner than pin him with a technical move, man. Like, to me, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then he comes on later on with the cop thing. Oh, dear God, that was dumb. And then earlier in the pay-per-view, you see Roman go up to him and goes like, hey, man, I know this, and that, and a third. They're going to be there and whatever. And then, like, he comes in and then, like, there's one where he's, like, interviewing and he goes like, did you bring the ice? No. Did you bring the cold one? No, not really. Good thing I did. That was dumb.
That was a little weird. That was like, that seemed awkward. I'll give you that.
That was not awkward. That was awful. Okay, that wasn't awkward. That was awful.
That was like that just didn't fit at all.
That was bloody awful. And then later on in the night, Triple H tells him, "Hey, piss off. You're not allowed on ringside. Whatever." And then the match happens, and it's a good match. It's a halfway decent match. And it angers me again to no end because they had a match prior at Hell in a Cell, I believe, right? Last year? Was that when they main evented?
Yes,
I believe it was.
I think it was.
Yeah. And much like that match, there's so many things that they just don't let these guys wrestle. Like, get rid of J&J Security already. Get rid of Kane. Let Seth be on his own. Let him wrestle, damn it. Like, I'm tired of him being a coward. He's not coming off strong anymore.
That has to happen eventually, but right now I love J&J Security.
I love them at a point, not anymore. He's coming off more as a coward and not as a legitimate threat. Like, people are saying, like, oh, like, the bit was legitimized by Lesnar, and then Rollins apparently carried the legitimacy. No, he hasn't. He's completely dropped it. Like, I don't care. I care more about the NXT Women's title at this point than the WWE title.
I believe you said that already.
Point is, like, pretty much almost any belt that isn't like the tag team belt just the tag team belt at this point in the main roster, throw every belt into the damn sewer because I don't care about it. And then WWE went on to continue the match to show how much they don't even give a damn about their belt by having Ambrose do another stupid stealing the belt thing. I can't stand these. I can't stand because now Ambrose is a thief because this is not the first time he stole the belt. Apparently the man just steals things, and then I'm terrified because
he got screwed out of the belt. It should have been his.
I don't care because like the last time he stole the belt, somehow 6 motherfuckers came in and thought, hey, you know what? I want the belt too. And next thing you know, they had a clusterfuck of a match. I don't want that to happen again. I know clearly it won't, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking now Cena's going to want and go like, hey, we're stealing titles? Cool, sure, I'm champion now. No, it's dumb. The stealing the belt thing is awful to me, and I can't stand it. The match was average. Too bad the ending was garbage.
Two things. One, I thought the match was good. The ending... Here's the thing. It's weird what counts as a disqualification and what doesn't sometimes. And, you know, you can watch, I don't know how many other matches where the first ref gets knocked out or whatever, even if it's by that. It's just stupid. I'm hoping it comes out that it was collusion with the referee or some of that because that would make more sense. However, if anyone is going to steal the belt, Ambrose, as you said, is a lunatic. It makes sense that he'd be like, no, I won that shit. Your stupid ref trick isn't going to work. I'm taking this belt. However, I will agree, this is way too close to that whole IC lets everyone steal the belt thing. If that had not happened, I don't think this would be as big of a deal. But Also, it looks like they've already come out and said that they're dealing with this on Raw and everything. So, it looks like it's not going to last long, which is fine. It doesn't need to. One of the reasons why I like it is because now when they have their rematch, it's going to look like Ambrose is a legitimate threat. Because I'll be honest, I just didn't think there was any way Seth's going to win. I don't think he's going to lose the belt until SummerSlam, if even then. And so this actually made Ambrose feel like a legit threat.
See, it didn't come off that way to me at all. I thought it was great the way they took the belt off of Lesnar. WWE's biggest problem now is they have no one to take the belt off of Rollins. They have nobody.
They need to
other than Cena.
They need to build.
Cena's the only one. Or
they're going to have Lesnar come back and just take the belt from Rollins again, which I really don't want to see happen.
No.
To address your earlier point, we disagree, but that's why we do these things. We talk about this because I think it's clear that you can have two wrestling fans who are both wrestling fans, but like a match for different reasons or not like a match, whatever. However, I really think that this overall was a decent pay-per-view with a couple of bad decisions. That you said something very offensive. You said this thing was worse than Fastlane, and that is offensive.
Way worse than Fastlane.
That is offensive and just wrong. That sounds incorrect.
No,
but I respect your opinion if you really believe that. If you honestly think that.
No, because see, this is my way to defend my statement, and I stand by this statement. Fastlane was boring, right? But I at least saw the pay-per-view. I at least saw all of it. It at least did enough to make me want to watch it. I legitimately turned this pay-per-view off midway through the IC Chamber match. And then I saw it, I went back halfway through the main event match.
Yeah. It sounds like you really just kind of went in this with, unfortunately, there were a couple of things that you didn't like, and so it soured the whole night for you. And I'm not belittling your statement. It sounds like a couple of things really just threw you off on this.
That could clearly be the case, but I don't know. I stand by my statement. Obviously, Steven doesn't think so. I would like to hear what you guys think, but me personally, worse than Fastlane.
You are exactly correct. I would like to hear what some other people think, whether you agree with us, or maybe we said something that kind of swayed your decision. I know a lot of people were having discussions about Ambrose and the way they chose to end the final match, and I saw some good comments there. So if you have any comments, you want to leave them, please feel free to do that. Ulysses, let me ask you really quick. I was a big fan of the QVC style promo for the Money in the Bank match coming up. One, because I think I hate QVC, but that's a story for another time. Who would you say right now is the front runner that you would actually like to see the Money in the Bank win the Money in the Bank?
That's a good one, because they showed some of the participants there.
I think they showed all of them, didn't they?
No, because Cole made a point saying, let me be clear, these are not all of them.
You're right. You're right.
Like, some are still to be named on Raw or whatever, or the upcoming weeks.
Right. And I do hate that they only have 2 weeks to do this, because normally we would have, qualifying matches and stuff like that. But since there's so few time. But, okay, of the people that we know are going to be in there, or do you have a dark horse you would like to see win?
Okay, just one quick beef. I don't like half the contestants on this one. I think it's dumb. I would have
weird to me because Neville's on there. I'd love to see Neville do it. You know what was shocking? Why is Kofi there? He's got his own thing he's doing. I know that man is amazing in ladder matches, right? And I know that's why he's there. But he legit has his own storyline and stuff he's dealing with. You could have put someone else who doesn't have anything going on in there.
Unless the New Day helps him with the title.
That would be cool. Perfect. And what's going to be cool is, so you can still have a tag match with Big E and Xavier Woods, and then Kofi can still be in the Money in the Bank match. And I actually would completely agree. That would be pretty cool if Kofi actually won, and then you have something where they lose the tag belts, but Kofi's like, no, I have this Money in the Bank contract. We want to take them back. And the ref's like, wait, are you sure? You can cash this in for the World Heavyweight title. No, give me the belts back.
No, see, I thought even better. He wins the Money in the Bank. He cashes it in. He gets it. and the New Day defend the title under the Freebird rule. That'd be great.
So they would have
Like-
the World Heavyweight Championship belt and the tag belts?
Yeah, but like Kofi isn't the tag team champion. The New Day is the World Heavyweight champion.
That's pretty. All right, I'm down. My other pick would be Ziggler. That's my other pick. I know he's had it before, but I'd really love to see him have another chance at the title again. And of course, I always say Cesaro because I just think the man's underappreciated.
I'm going with the obvious pick. I think Roman's gonna win it.
I mean,
but I would have preferred this match to be like last year's match where everyone involved never held the title before. That's what I want. I want give me something new, shake it up a bit.
I agree with you. Does he need the Money in the Bank briefcase? Because like the briefcase, usually it's a guaranteed. Eventually, you're going to get the belt, right? Or you're at least going to get a little bit of a boost, unless you're unfortunately Damian Sandow. But here's my thing. Like, I don't think he needs it. I think they're doing something kind of cool with Reigns. They're building him. Like, he didn't have a match, right? He didn't have a match on this card at all. He didn't need it. He got to come out and look cool, and the fans seem to really be getting behind him. So,
see, the best way I think would be cool would be let a heel win the belt, let a heel win the briefcase, and then do what Daniel Bryan did to the Big Show. Roman Reigns fighting for the belt. He finally wins it in a brutal match. The heel comes out, catching in on him. Boom. Like, just have him keep wanting to get the belt.
I agree. I can see that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have talked a lot about Unstoppable and Elimination Chamber. If you have comments, please leave them. If you want to ask us questions, you can find our Twitter information in the description below. And until then, I have been Stephen Wilds, and Ulysses has once again become the hater of everything beautiful.
Goodbye, guys.
In this case, that means the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Have a good night.